Welcome to Gracie Schwartzwald. I'm here with Erkan Mete, and today we're going to go over what I think are 10 fundamental takedowns you should know. And it's important to understand that what's the best technique?
There is no best technique. It depends.
Depends. What's the best version of a technique?
It still depends.
It still depends. So the best submission is going to change depending on if you're in a self-defense situation, you're in a sports situation, you're in an MMA situation, because the realities of those situations are different. Okay, so when we teach a takedown, a double leg that you might use for wrestling is going to be different than a double leg you might use for MMA or that you might have to use for no-gi submission fighting, because the threats are different and the realities are different. So for this, what we're really focused on is techniques that are fairly easy to accomplish. We're going to teach them in very fundamental ways. So yes, if you were a very good wrestler, judoka, you could add a lot to these, but that's not the point. Is how do I use this against a high-level judoka? It's just, if you don't have a lot of training, here's kind of the fundamental movements that will be easy for you to learn the movement. And then as you get better, if you need to adjust it for a particular style of competition or self-defense, you can. But we're just going over kind of the easiest way to understand how to do these techniques. So the first one we're going to start with is a foundational technique. And basically there's kind of two ways to approach takedowns. What I call free takedowns, where I'm not engaged with the person, there's distance from us, and then from the clinch. Okay? For beginners, I really emphasize as much as possible trying to do something for the clinch. For me to be out here trying to shoot doubles on a guy can be difficult, can be a little bit daunting, to build up the nerve to actually go ahead and make that shot on somebody. So, and from a self-defense standpoint, it's a lot better for me often to get to the clinch position where I can smother attacks and then work on the takedown. So we're going to start with this first one from the clinch. Okay? And this is going to be a body fold. Okay, so I can do this under both arms, I can do it over under, and I can do it over both arms. Okay, so in this situation, Jiu-Jitsu is lazy. I'm not going to try to power him down to the ground. And it's important that when I do this, my version of this takedown is I don't want to go to the ground with him unless I decide to. So I'm going to do it in a particular way where I don't have to go to the ground with him. So what I'm trying to accomplish is very important. It's more about the pulling than the pushing. You're going to do both. So what I'm not going to do is come here and then try to drive him back. This is for a number of reasons. One, it tends to cause me to fall. Two, it separates us, causes distance. In judo or something, I take you down, you land flat on your back, that's great. But in jiu-jitsu or fighting, if you're too far away from me, now I got to deal with your guard. I got to deal with you kicking at me. So I want to drop you directly underneath me where I have a good position of control. Okay, so instead of pushing him, I want to pull his hips to me. So what I'm trying to do is bend him in a C. And then he drops straight down. So it's very important. So we're going to start with just a double under clinch. Again, I can do this in many different iterations. Okay, I'm going to start with a double under clinch. And I'm going to be a little bit to the side in the beginning just for control. Now, very important, I want my head on the same side as I'm at. So I don't want my head across his body. Okay, I'll explain later why. And I don't want to have my head looking down and go, here's going to start pushing my head down, and then maybe I'm dealing with knees, I'm dealing with breaking, I'm dealing with guillotining. So I keep my posture, my head, the space between my bottom of my head and my neck small. So I'm here, he tries to push me down, here. And my hips are glued to his. If my hips are here, he's going to sprawl his hips back, and I lose the position. So I want to keep my hips in the beginning tight. You can make a ball and hook grip, what we call ball and hook, gable grip, S grip, whatever you favor. So I'm a little bit off to the side, here. Now, when I'm ready to do the takedown, I'm going to slide around to the front. I'll often see people try to do this takedown from the side, but you notice, as he bends, I bend and I'm off balance this way. So I want to step in front because we're stronger. Right. So I don't want to try to exert force this way. I want to exert force directly in front of me. So I come, I'm going to step in front. Now, I'm going to make the space. I'm only going to do it for a second because I am giving him a chance to maybe sprawl his hips back. Once I make that space, I'm going to suck his hips to me. And as I suck his hips to me, I'm going to roll up a little bit. Okay, so try to get him up on his toes. Now, very important that where my grip is. If my grip is in the middle of his back, I can't pull him forward. If my grip is below on his hip bones, that's also hard. I'm looking for the soft spot between his ribs and his hip bones. So ideally I'm right there, where it's nice and soft. If I squeeze, you should hear that noise. Okay, so once we're here, I step in front. My head is still up. My ear is pressed against his. I'm looking away from the side I'm at. So I don't want to try to look this way. I'm off balance. My head stays a little bit off of his center line on this side. It does not pass across. Here, I step in front. I move my hips back. I lower my level. I pull his hips to me. Now I push down with my head. Here. Now as he falls, I let go with my hands. So I keep my hands locked. I'm going to get pulled to the ground and my hands will get trapped underneath him. So we're here. I step to the front. I lower my level. I pull in. Drive my head down. Let go. Now as I land, one thing I'll do is I'll connect my knees to my elbows to my knees. This means if I drop him and I'm like this, he's going to put his feet on my hips. If we're playing sport, I've got trouble. If we're not, he's kicking me away. Here, okay? So as I drop him, I want to close that space off. I want to be on the inside. So I go here, I move back, I pull, I'm right here. So now he tries to bring his legs in the way, I'm here. Now if I want to go to mount, my hands go to the mat, my knee follows, connecting to my elbow. I come down, I settle in. If I didn't want to go, from here, I could just back away. Okay. And that is our first takedown, the body fold. All right, to clarify why I want my head on this side for the body fold. If I bring my head to this side, as I body fold him, he's going to headlock me as he falls and roll this way. Okay, so as I take him down, this could potentially happen. Okay, very common, the person's falling, try to roll you over. Everybody does it. If my head stays on this side, it's going to limit his ability to turn his shoulders. So I body fold him, roll me over, pull me, pull me. He's not going to be able to turn and roll and power you over, which is absolutely what somebody's going to try to do if you take him down with this. So now we're going to go into our second takedown, which I consider the sister of the first takedown, the sister of the body fold, and that is the leg hook takedown. Okay, so again, last one I showed from double under. This one I'm going to show for over under. You can do both off of either grip. What I mean by over under is I'm under one arm, I'm over the others. Okay, so in this situation, I'm going to be off to the side. One advantage of this hold is he can no longer try to hit me with this arm. If I'm like this, I've got to worry about him trying to hit me. Now, I'm not in a good angle because in order to hit me, he's got to lean back to try to make the space for power. But there's still, you're going to take some shots. Okay? Again, I'm inside where this I can deal with. It's somebody making space here that you don't want. But often this is a really ideal position. Now when I do this, I'm not wrapping my arm like this. I'm pinching his wrist in my armpit, making a C clamp, wide hand, then close right above his elbows. Now we try to pull the arm out. Here, okay? My other hand holding hip, and as before, my hips are tight. Okay? So, why would I do this one instead of the first one? Okay? If he opens his base, now I try to step around front, even let me step around front, and his base is too settled. He's able to get his hips back a little bit, or off to the side. I can't pull him in as easily. Okay? But Jiu-Jitsu is lazy. So I take what he gives me. Just like on the ground. If he gives me an armbar, I take the armbar. I don't try to force it to the Kimura. So in this situation, my cue is he opens his base. When I open my base, There's nothing supporting me underneath. So if I pick one leg up, I'm gonna fall. Okay, so that's what he's doing, is he's basically giving me a chance that if I pick one of his legs up, he'll fall. Now, if I do the same, I fall. So it's very important when we're in this position, I don't want to have my legs out here, hook his leg, because if I pick his leg up, he'll fall, but I'll fall too, because I have a base there underneath me, and I'll fall on my knee. Okay, so I'll kind of come out of that, but potentially worse. So what I want to do is bring my foot directly underneath me so I can pick my foot up and keep my balance. Okay, now, a mistake I see a lot is people will pull the foot from the side or even from behind. Eric is a wonderful Uchimata. If I do this, I'm going for a ride. Okay, so I want to lock his leg out from the front. I want to pull towards his toes. So what I'm going to do is when he opens his base, I want to step my foot so it's pointing into his foot. Our toes are opposite direction. So my hips face directly into his knee. So I'm here, I step, I make a hook. Now I'm not trying to hook deep, I'm not wrapping around his knee, I don't need to do any of that. I'm simply going to hook at his ankles, pick his foot up. So from here, I step in, I hook, and here. Now you notice, as he started to go down, I put my foot back on the ground. Again, I don't want to go to the ground unless I decide. So a lot of my views are I take the person down, I remain standing, because in this situation, I can strike from here, I can disengage, which is always our ideal for self-defense, or I can go into a strong position of my choosing, instead of both of us falling to the ground and be bouncing around and rolling. Okay, so we're here, I'm to the side this time, because I have the over-under position. He opens his base, that's my cue. Scoot this way just a touch. Okay. I'm going to step my foot in. My head is on this side. I hook. I pick up. Turn this way, please. Just like before, I let go. I connect my knees to my elbows. I bring my weight low. I settle. And that is our leg hook takedown. All right, so for our third takedown, we're going to go into a drop throw. Now this is not an ideal self-defense situation because I'm going to the ground too. And I'm going to the ground first, in a sense. So I'm pulling him on top of me. Why am I showing this? Because it doesn't require a lot of strength. I don't have to get into a really big battle. This is one I use a lot when I'm exhausted and I'm tired. And I don't want to sit here and try to ankle pick the guy or hit single legs and fight through that whole single leg battle. So it's going to start from the over-under position. Unlike the body fold, I'm not off to the side. Okay, I'm actually going to be here in front of him. Okay, so we're in a 50-50 position. So what I want to do is, I'm walking towards me. I want to turn my body this way. It's going to look like I'm tripping him over my leg. And I sort of am, but you'll see he doesn't actually ever touch my leg. The main force of this is this. When I pull him down and I hang all my weight, that's what's going to cause him to fall. The reason being is once he gets pulled down, he can't take a step. So where people again make trouble is they do too much work. They try to throw the person. And again, a couple things are going to happen. He's going to sprawl out, so he never rotates over and land on top of me. This is the most common situation when people try to do this is they get mounted. Okay, so it's very important that I get out of the way and I pull him straight down so he cannot try to extend his body, okay, or step. So what I mean by this is if I just go like this and I try to throw him, he's going to sprawl here, okay, to the side, to mount, something like that. So what I want to do is, from the over-under, a lot of it is this hang. When I hang, he cannot pick that leg up. And as I do this, I'm going to step to the side and turn my foot. Now it's very important I don't let my knee pointing straight up in case he lands. Do not want him landing on top of my knee. I'm turning my foot. This does a couple things. It saves my knee, opens my hips. So I'm already turning. Okay? So I'm hanging. I'm going to rotate this arm, but it's very important I'm out of the way of him. I do not want to try to do this with him on top of me. Okay? So we're here. I step to the side. I hang. And we land right into Kesa. Modified Kesa. Okay. I really keep coming back to this. Don't try to throw him. Again, I'm not going here. Try to throw him. I want to hang and pull him down. That's my whole force. When I go here, and I hang and pull him down. Okay, now, let's turn him to the side. To set it up, I can be pushing into him to get him to drive into me. I step out of the way, I push, he drives back, I step out of the way. Notice how tight I stayed to him the whole time. I was not trying to muscle him halfway across the room because I'm lazy and I don't have to go chasing halfway across the room to get him. And that is our basic drop throw from the front. Now we're going to go into our fourth takedown, and that is basically the drop throw from the rear trip. This is a staple of Jiu-Jitsu, highly effective. Again, you can absolutely use this for self-defense. It's very common because when you're fighting, especially against an untrained person, often you will end up fighting yourself, slipping to their back, and then being able to hit this rear trip. Okay. Again, the idea here is not to sling him halfway across the room where I got to chase him. It's to drop him straight down. So what I'm trying to do is, just like the front, I'm trying to turn and pull him straight down. I want him to land right past my leg, not 4 feet past my leg, right past my leg. And I don't want him to land on my leg. So as I step, for now I'm here. Notice I'm making a triangle. This leg is outside his leg. This leg is back. If I step like this, he's going to drop to my leg and start attacking my leg. Okay. I want to try to keep him bent. I'm holding at the waist, making an S grip. Don't make a ball and hook or a gable grip. I make an S grip. Okay, so right now I'll do it without the rest of the things. I'm going to take a stagger step in, turn again my foot like I'm passing a soccer ball behind him, or I'm taking the bottom of my foot, putting it right behind his foot. Okay? And I'm pulling him straight down. Again, by turning, I'm opening my hips and allowing myself to rotate over. So I go. That's the motion right now. So, as you fall, you want to pull your arm in as he starts to fall. So you want to land on your arm and get it trapped, and also to allow yourself to roll over. Okay, so from this angle, I'm here, I step, and I can come right on top. Okay, so, if he's particularly got a wide stance or you got little short dwarf legs, you can shoot your leg between his. So I can go here. But you'll notice in all those situations, let's turn this way. And I'm catching myself on my elbow to stop myself rolling over. Don't do that. Notice he'll land right past my leg. My force is not pulling him this way. You see how he just staggered? Even if I block his foot and I pull, he can stagger. I want to pull him straight down, so I hang my weight. One thing I do personally, as I start to fall, I let my arms relax, and then as they start to catch, then I pull. So I don't try to stay tight the whole time. I go, pull, right here, right into the mountain. This can happen in a kinetic situation. He throws, you know, on flip, we're here, we're fighting. Here, and then, you know, go plateau or something. For self-defense. Right. And that is our rear trip. Now we're going to go into another takedown. This can be done from free, it can be done from the clinch. It's the single leg and then the run the pipe finish. There are numerous Different ways to set up the single leg, different single legs. I can hit a low single, head outside single, sweep single, snatch single. Don't worry about all that. We're just going over kind of the fundamentals of it. Okay? And then we're just doing a very simple takedown off of it. There's again, many, many finishes. So we're here, and he has a lead leg. Okay? If I have this stance, okay, which we call a closed stance, meaning his left leg is forward, my left leg is forward. It's an open stance. If I have this, I want to step to the outside of his leg. This is so my head is on the inside for this version. Okay? Especially for grappling. I'll see a lot of people try to shoot this way. And if you're training somebody who's good at guillotines, you're going to be fighting off guillotines the whole time. As you get better, you can hit the head outside, but you have to be aware of that danger. Okay, so I go here. What I don't tell my guys to, what I don't like particularly, is to be here at the waist with my shoulder. Okay? One, there's not a lot of connection. If I'm only connecting on top of my shoulder, sprawl your leg back, yeah, it's hard to hold. Also, notice how he was able to bring his upper body down. If he puts his upper body down, he's going to be able to smash weight on me, possibly pancaking me, but certainly driving his hips back. And if I try to pick up his leg, just pick the weight on me, it's very hard to pick up his leg. And he's going to be, even if I get it up, he's going to be able to put it back down on the ground by keeping weight on top of me. So what I want to do is as I step in, my head is up. I'm connecting my chest and my head. I like to go right about the chest level. This way, all I have to do is push into him. Keep your leg down, keep it heavy. Put your leg down. By driving into his upper body, I'm able to pick the leg up. So this is very important. What I see people do is they go like this, and they try to pick the leg up. If I just push, the leg becomes very light. So that's all I'm doing is I'm pushing my chest and my ear. My hands, I like to just kind of reach for the calf as much as possible. Okay, so when I go here, I'm locking my hands so that I can try to pick the leg up, not fighting into this kind of situation. So I step, I don't try to pick up, I'm reaching, I drive, and now the leg goes between my legs. I'm going to lock it in place here. Again, my head is here, not here. Here. Also, if I go here, he's going to be able to start to reach over, lock up the Kimura. No, on this side. Here. Yes. And then he's got different counters. He can roll me. Lock up the Kimura. Yeah. So, now that we have him up on one leg, we're going to rotate him down. It's very important. Rotation is one of the strongest ways to bring somebody down. Okay, so from here, all I'm going to do is an about face. I'm going to step back and turn my body. I'm not trying to move around him. I see beginners, they go like this. I'm trying to run the person around like that. Just drive in, step back, rotate. I'm rotating towards his back. If I rotate this way, he just follows. I want to rotate him back backwards. Okay? Now, I can rotate forever if he's got good base. So as I rotate, I'm going to use my chest and my head to press his upper body down. So we're here. I step in. For me personally, you can keep the leg. I like to take my back arm, hook the waist so I can help to turn him. I'm going to step back, pull. Again, notice I don't fall. I have connection now. I can start to work into passing situations. Let's go on this side. Again, you can work this off. I can work it off strikes. Okay, he throws a jab, I can slip here. Here. So keep all those little details in mind, and that is our single leg running the pipe. So we just did the single leg. Now we're going to do the double leg. Okay. As with the single leg, there's a ton of setups, a ton of finishes, different grips. We're just going to go over one that's simple for people to do, especially if you don't have a lot of training. So there is a street and a self-defense version and a sport version. The sport version, you can drop your knee to the ground. The self-defense version, you definitely don't want to do that because if you're on pavement. The mechanics are still pretty much the same. So the first thing I want to do is Square. Unless your name is Jordan Burroughs, don't try to shoot from this far away. It's too easy for him to see. One of the reasons that, stand up, that in Gracie's self-defense, that we always want to maintain this 2-arm distance is for me to take him down or reach him from this far away without him seeing it and being able to react in time, it's very difficult. So I don't want to do his work for him by trying to stay out here and shoot. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm close enough. So this can be very simple. One reason you'll see wrestling a lot of times posting here is because I know I'm close enough. Okay? In fighting, I can make sure that if I can hit him, I can shoot on him. Okay? So make sure you're starting from close enough range. To learn this, he's just going to have a square stance, meaning he's not in a stagnant position, he's got his feet here. I want my foot right in the middle, my head is up. Very important with this, I'm not bending over and hitting him with my shoulder and running right into a guillotine or front headlock. The more connection I make, the harder it is for him to break the hold. So I mean, if I just hit him with this, that's one small connection, easy for him to break the hold. I want to hit him from my shoulder, actually my head, down to my chest. So the way I do that is when I drop my level, is my head and chest hit all at once. Okay? That's really important. Okay? So if I try to drop my level to 45, he's going to underhook me and catch me, and I don't get the takedown. Or if I'm dealing with punches, I'm going to walk into a punch. So the first thing is I'm here, I go straight down. I want to look at his belly button. When I teach this, I explain it as going down the elevator, out the first floor. You don't jump from the 4th floor down. So the first thing is I get in the elevator, I go down. Now I'm going to do my penetration step. If I just shoot like this, I barely connect with him. Okay, so I want to step my foot at least where his feet are. Okay? So I'm driving off this back leg. I drop my level, my head is up, so I don't run into guillotines, so he doesn't sprawl on me. If I go like this, sprawl. Yeah. I go like this, sprawl. Much harder. So we're here, drop my level, step. Now I'm going to drive this knee to the ground. Here. So you see how I move through him. So we're here, I drop my level, step, here. My head is up. My hands reach for his knees, okay? Because I want to stop him sprawling his knees back. Okay? So I'm making hooks around his knees. Now, we can just continue to drive him back and probably get the takedown. But I want to cut a corner, making it harder for him to sprawl or walk back. So, when I get to this position here, and I step in, this trail leg is going to come, let me turn this way, up in line with his other feet. My head is up, connected to his ribs. Now I can drive off this leg, drive my head this way. I'm going to not block his legs just so you guys can see. I drive that way. So I went this way and then I turned. Okay? So I'm here, I drop my level, penetrate, step. Now as I drive, I'm going to block this leg, try to get this way, lift this leg. So I drive, here. Okay. Let's do it from this angle just a little bit. A little closer. So I drop my level, penetrate, step, drive, look, and into our takedown. Notice I didn't fall. You absolutely can if you want. Okay, but I like to try to stay standing because from a jiu-jitsu standpoint, if I go here, and I go here, and I go here, often I'll end up in the guard. Okay. So I like to try to take him down. Here, I drop my level, I go, and as I go, I'm able to pass his legs by me and not have to deal with his guard. And that is our fundamental double leg takedown. Now we're going to cover what is basically a group of throws. So these can be done many different ways. We're just going to go over the general mechanics, and that is a hip throw. So very simple. I'm going to turn my body so we're facing the same way, and then simply bring him over my body. I can have the grip around his head, the grip under the arm, grip over the arm, over the back, around the waist. Many variations. The grips are just a matter of a way to load him up on top of you. Okay, so first thing I want to make sure to do is with this particular version is when I step in, I want to step my cross foot in front of his foot, back step, and make sure I'm facing exactly the same way. I don't want to be halfway turned because now I go for the throw, he's just going to slide off to the side. I want to step all the other way. Now, when I do this, I don't want my legs outside of his legs. Right now, there's very little lift in my legs, and my legs are almost locked. Okay, so if I go like this, even if I do this all the way, I barely get him off the ground. And he can actually pull me backwards. I'm pretty off balance. So when I step in, I want my feet either in line with his or inside his. This means I've got a lot of drive off my legs, got a lot of lift. Now, when I step in and I do this, my momentum is carrying me this way. So I don't want to put my heels on the ground. I don't want to step like this because I'm already off balance. I want to step in. I'm on the balls of my foot so I can drive that way. Okay, so when I step in, whatever grip it is, I'm on the balls of my feet. Not real high, just to make sure your heels are off the ground so you're not losing your balance backwards. Now, I go around the head, under the body, doesn't matter. Okay, for now, we'll just start here. I'm going to step in, around the head. I personally like to reach for the armpit. I feel like sometimes you go for this, duck your head, and you lose the head. Okay. I go in, my hips are lower than his, but look, very important, my back is up. If I'm like this, I can maybe get him a little off the ground. But I want my head up and my back not straight up, but just a little bit of an angle. So I'm here, here. Where am I looking? Here. Now, I straighten my legs, bring my head down. Very important, for him to go this way, my head has to go below my hips. If I try to throw somebody this way, but my shoulders are higher than my hips, he will again fall off to the side. So I tell my people, I want you to look through your legs. Now, one thing, and Eric's gotten very good at this, is people kind of pull the person. I want to pull, but what I think about is when I do this, is actually lifting my hips into him, rather than focusing so much on trying to pull him onto me. So I'm kind of scooping him up with my hips. Okay, so we're here. I can hold the arm, step in, reach, back step, good position. I load him up on my hips. Now my head is going to go all the way down. My legs are locked. I can stay here with quite a bit of weight. I'm going to look to the outside of my foot, chop my hands there, land in a good control position. Let's do it from this side. And again, this could be under the arm, around the waist, practice them all. Important detail for training with your partner. Be realistic. What I mean by that is don't resist. But nobody tries to, when you're practicing, if you were to throw somebody, nobody's just dead weight. Or I go like this and he's just hanging. He wants to stiffen his whole body so that I can practice this. It makes it much easier for me to learn the move. So I'm here, I step in. Notice how his whole body is locked. Bring my head down, arms across, control. We're right into our landing for our fundamental hip throw. All right, now we're going to go to another takedown. This is a particular favorite of mine, especially when I'm tired. Actually, anytime. I use this as often as possible because it feeds into my game so much. And it's based off a very simple catch-22. Okay, and that is the front headlock stackdown. Okay, so he can really only be in two positions. I can attack his waist or his legs. His main defense is to pull those away. Now you notice what happens, go ahead, just stay away. Notice what happens to his head. It comes down, which makes it much easier for me to get control of his head. He lifts his head up. Notice how his hips and his leg are accessible again. So I'll often just go back and forth between attacking these two things. I'll go for body, clinching, go to the head, clinch, single, he pulls away, snap down, all of this. And, then I have the guillotines, everything from there. So all we're going to do is just start from the front headlock position. We're not going to cover a lot of this in detail, but we'll go do this really quickly. When we come out, okay, I don't want him to have his dominant hand on me. Meaning, if this is a gi grappling, I don't want him to get his strong right hand controlling my upper body. This, by the way, is the same grip as this. It serves the same function. He can pull me down and break my posture. Okay, so I want to make sure when we come out, I'm not allowing him to have that, but I want to get my dominant hand on him. Okay, so I don't want to just come out and do this. I want to break that off and then eye control. Same thing without the gi. If he comes out, right, I want to clear that, I want to control. Notice I have his arm, wrist, bicep, something he's trying to grab my head. I want to keep that grip off of my head and I want to control his head. I'm making a hook in his neck, elbow tucked in. So if he tries to shoot on my legs, I'm here on control. Now why this is so easy, especially for beginners, is guys are very lazy. All it takes is one moment of this space opening up. I tell people basically the person looks down. But really all I need is the weakening back there. So we're moving around, he looks down for a second, I'm on his head. Okay, so again, it could be I go for his leg, here. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm controlling the arm, controlling the head. I don't want to try to pass the head on the same side. We're simply going to pass it under this arm. Okay. Once I do, I let go of the hand, obviously. Here. Now, very important, when I do this, don't worry about the choke, right? First thing I got to do is make sure he cannot posture up or back out. So I bring my head down. If my head is up, pull away, lift your head up. Yeah, I'm going to lose the position. Or if he's very strong, he's going to step his hips in and then start, yeah, here. So very important when I do this, I snap down, my weight is here. Okay, now he tries to shoot in on me or lift his head or duck under, here. Okay. Now, I can have this arm in or out, doesn't matter. So for now, once I'm here, I'm going to reach up and I'm going to cup his chin. Right in the middle of my palm is the line of his chin. Here. Okay, this stops a lot of things, duck unders, he tries to pull away, and control. On this side, I like to control outside cupping the tricep. Okay, you can go inside, but I personally like to go here. Now, if I try to just snap straight down, and I try to just pull him straight down, a couple things can happen. It might work. If he's very strong, and he keeps his posture, nothing happens. Or he puts his hands on the mat, and it sort of works, but I don't really want him in that posture. I want him broken down all the way. So you'll notice when his back is rounded, there you go, and I try to pull down, it's very hard. You like a cat and do this. Now, it's very easy. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to open his chin. Notice how that concaves his back. Okay? And I'm not pulling him straight down, I want to pull him this way. So as I move back, I'm actually going to open the chin and drop weight. Sorry, Rick.
No.
So I catch, as I move back, I pull the chin, and I pull the arm, and I'm here. Now notice when I land on one knee, my other foot posted. I'm not landing like this. I'm landing here because now I have a number of positions. Let's go to this side. So again, I'm not trying to snap him straight down. I'm not pulling back without opening his chin. Because if I just lock my hands like this and pull back, nothing happens. You don't have to be evil, but what's a word for evil that's not evil? You gotta be evil, right? So you gotta catch, I'm here, I snap, can control the chin, weight is on his back, I'm gonna open his chin as I move away. Come up a little bit. If he catches himself on his hands, look, I just keep, no, on my hands, there you go. I'll just keep moving and pull him back. And then I get him flat, or at least on his elbows. I can run behind or start attacking from the front turtle position. And that is our front headlock to the snap down. I use this technique all the time. All right, now we're going to go over another very effective technique. I've been through this one, I use this quite a bit. This is, again, is not what I would necessarily use for self-defense because you are putting your knee on the ground. But from a grappling standpoint, it is a very effective one. Again, this would be done differently in wrestling, but I have to worry about different threats in wrestling than I do in Jiu-Jitsu. And also I'm doing this in a way that is easy for people who don't have a big background in standing takedowns. Okay, so we're going to start from that over-under front position. And again, I'm holding his tricep, this hand, I want to be high. I don't want him to start to tilt me off to this side. So I want to maintain it even or even a little high here. So now all I'm going to do, let's step this way, is if this is the side I'm over the arm and this is the underhook side, I want to move away from the underhook side. So I'm literally just going to step like this. Very important I'm not stepping and turning. Okay, I'm just moving straight to the side. My underhook is going to pull him. I want to pull him onto my hip. Okay, so the way I do this is this hand, I'm going to drop it to the middle. I'm going to find the muscle and dig my fingers into the muscle. Okay, as I step to the side, I'm just simply going to pull him this way. Now notice he has to step. If he doesn't step, he falls. Okay, so I'm not doing this and turning because now there's space between us. I want him glued to my hip so that my leg is close as possible. This is a very good setup for many things. I can actually use this to go all the way behind me so you can start to set up other things. But in this situation, I'm just pulling him 90 degrees onto my angle, on my hip. So again, I step to the side, pull him. Now, depending on how wide my base is, you can bring this leg in or not. But from here, I'm going to drop my foot all the way behind his leg. I want my knee all the way here. I don't want to be just barely hooking. And I don't want my leg off the ground. It's all the way on the ground. This hand, it's blocking the leg so that he can't step either leg back. Now I'm just simply going to drive off this foot, push my chest into him, and settle right in and go. Okay, so we're here. I step to the side, pull him. If I step, and it's the reason I keep coming over this is I've taught this for many years and people all do this. They step and they turn. Well, now I'm very far away. I step and I turn, and now it's a reach to get to the leg. Okay. I'm here, I step, I pull very tight, bring my leg in, all the way down, block the leg. Okay. There is a variation you can do if you can't get, like it's gi. I can use the gi as well. So we're here, I could come here, step, and I pull down on the lapel, but block the leg, everything is the same. Okay. And that is our inside trip. All right, so the next one is going to work a little bit like opposite the last one, the inside trip. But this is going to be a knee tap. There's many, many ways to set this up. We're doing a very simplified version. I'm a big fan of trips and taps because if it doesn't succeed, I'm really lost a lot. If I go for a blast double and he sprawls on me, I'm kind of stuck in a bad position. So I'll often test these out first before really resorting to more kind of committed, explosive takedowns. So in the last one, we were here and I pulled him to this side. Okay, in this situation, I want to get him to step forward a little bit. Okay, now, I can actually open my base when I do this. Just get him to step forward. Notice, I'm not going to turn too much. I get him to step forward here. Now this underhook is going to reach for the sky. I'm simply going to point, I want to drive his weight onto that foot. That's the most important thing about a knee tap, is I've got to drive his weight over the foot I want to tap, because if I don't, he'll simply step it away. So there's many ways to set this up. Again, I'm just going to go here, pull, And then I'm going to reach for the knee. It's called a knee tap. I'm not going here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to drive, run my way through, reach, here. Let's try this side. So we're here, maybe I tried this, it's not working. I tried this way. Here. One more time. I'm here. I want to pull. I can also just go for that leg and steps it back. Go here. But for now, because I want to turn my angle, I go already. We're right into our knee tap position. Very effective. I go here, he steps out of that. I go here, he steps out of that. I go here, I start to pull down. You start to see how you can kind of build these all into each other without having to really do a ton of work. Okay, and so that is 10, I think, fundamental takedowns. You can, of course, change them to work for your body type, your situation, but I think that there are easy ones to learn that aren't too complicated. And I hope that helps. And be sure to check out Gracie Schwartzwald on YouTube, Facebook, and Roy Marsh Jiu-Jitsu on the both.